Happy Halloween. Welcome to the Pretty Picture Party. I'm Taylor. This is going to be a channel about my art and maybe other stuff that I like. I've made a couple of tarot decks, so I thought maybe the best thing to do to kick this off would maybe be to do a reading with one of them. We can talk about the pictures, we can talk about the channel. I can drink some spooky coffee. And I've made a couple of decks. I've made the Ellis deck tarot, which was my first deck. I really just wanted to kind of make my own deck at that point, and was really inspired to do so by the Aquarian tarot that David Palladini made. So I sort of made my own fantasy deck, and we're not going to read with that one today. We're going to read with my second one, which is the Tarot of the Starbound Phantasia. And that was the second one I made, which I don't know, to me is a fantasy sci-fi deck. Sort of the idea of how tarot and mysticism would go to space, different worlds with different magics. And to get started, I'm just going to pull this guy out and show him to you. This is the Aeon. This is the avatar for this channel, and it's got a little alien doing a Horus pose in the middle. He's kind of a keeper of the silence, but at the same time, if you know anything about Judgment or the Aeon, it is receiving your calling. I think that's a great way to get started. As you can see, I think that an alien is a great symbol for the new Aeon, because I think that we all want a lot of aliens to just show up and fix our wagon. I don't know if that's going to happen, but wouldn't that be amazing? So, all right, so we're going to do a reading for this channel, and I'm going to get started. I like to shuffle 3 times, kind of put my own random energy into this. We're gonna get shuffling every day. I'm shuffling. Okay. All right, so we're gonna look at the cut. So subconscious, like what's at the core of this? And this is where they wanted to separate. Oh, death. Space death. And the 7 of Pentacles. So this video will probably be in the dustbin of this channel. I'm not entirely sure anyone will actually watch this. That's fine, because it lets me kind of fumble around and get a feel for this. You're not going to believe this. This is about take 30. So I'm going to go ahead and lay the cards out. All right, readers, let's get reading. I'm going to be using a spread called the Glass Bead Game Spread. It was created by my mentor, Ashley Bellamy. He was a cool old guy that lived in a church, made oil paintings, read tarot, and rented rooms to artists. I was one of those. We became really good friends. He taught me a lot about the tarot, this spread is how I got my first reading, and it's how I've really enjoyed reading since then. So we'll get going here. I'm gonna lay them out first, and then we'll get busy talking. I don't feel like reading reversals today, so if you see me turning cards upright, that's why. Sometimes I do read reversals. I just don't feel like today is a day for that. All right, 3 of Swords, significator. Shake hands. I've had a lot of coffee today. So the 3 of Swords is We've got 2 ants and an antlion here. So kind of a sense of ouch, conflict. One sword is made of clouds. This is an air element, wind cutting through things. The 3 of Swords to me is kind of a ripping off the Band-Aid. And that's really what this is for me, especially with this being in the middle. I would put this as personal. It's not easy for me to make a video, believe it or not, I know. But here I am doing it. You got to kind of embrace the pain to win the game. And having the 9 of Cups with that, is sort of the idea that it is going to be beneficial, but it's crossed by the 10 of Cups, which means there's a lot of feels to it. There's a lot of, I don't like the sound of my voice. There's a lot of, I had to put a costume on to do this. And there is a lot of cups, a lot of water, a lot of feelings. I get pretty self-conscious making videos. You know, if you want to leave an ugly comment, fine, but I've got a head that does that for me all day. So let's rip this Band-Aid off. The card that crowned those guys was the King of Pentacles. That's about using every available resource that you've got, making decisions, having, you know, at the heart of the matter is the material, making something happen. I really do want to get my art back out in the world. I used to share a lot of stuff on social media. Over the past few years, I've kind of gotten disgusted by social media. I recognize it as a necessary evil, but at the same time, I maybe spitefully deleted all of mine. And you know, there's things like YouTube that I use all the time, and I thought maybe not get on it, try it myself. I've got, you know, a camera. I've got all these cards that I've made that have my art printed on them. And the King of Pentacles is also about reputation. So there's that too. It's the effort to build a reputation for myself. You might also notice he's munching on a tree there. Like it's broccoli. The other thing is that, you know, you don't want to burn it up. You don't want to burn up your resources. You don't want to get people sick of you. So you kind of have to make decisions based on that. That's something that I'll have to figure out as time unfolds. All right, back looking at the spread. This is where you start. This is the influence realm. It's your ability to have an influence on the situation. So yeah, influence realm is the 7 of Cups. The 7 of Cups is a whole lot of confusion going on. That is a lot of, what do I want to be? What am I trying to do? How do I go about this? I feel like this is me getting online, being like, how do I want to promote my art? And getting a page of tons of useless, sometimes paid useless links, some AI suggestions. It's like, well, you know, why don't you try making it be about fantasy? Why don't you try making it like a fun merry-go-round? Just be a silly goose. You know, you are the king of what you do. There's so many different options. It's like what to focus on. You know, we go back to that center where it says rip the Band-Aid off. So it's more or less like I've got to pick one of these and go with it. Or maybe I just stay muddled and go all over the place. But like I said, first video, let's just get this out of the way. Okay, next spot in the glass bead game reading is the metaphysical or the unmanifested. And we've got the King of Swords. I mean, look at this dude. What a beast. It's half dragon, half king. Got a scarab sword there. He's got a scabbard, scarab, a scarabard. He has within these calm blue clouds is a tornado in a red sky. So this guy, he can really start some stuff if he needs to. He usually keeps the sword at rest because the king is someone experienced with conflict, battle, decision making, all of that, and does it when it's time to do it, but doesn't just wave that sword around. The King of Swords is confident enough not to flaunt authority. And the King of Swords, unmanifested in a reading like this, is sort of relating back to that first card, the kind of indecisiveness about what this is going to be, kind of having to feel our way through, not knowing exactly where to make the chops. That'll come later. Probably the video editing I'm going to be doing. Next up in the bead game reading is the Five of Swords, and it is in the Karma realm, or the action realm. Five of Swords. So what do we have here? We've got bees and hornets fighting. We've got four swords on the outside. They have cracked and damaged this fifth sword. This is a card that has a lot of conflict. If you look, a couple of these guys at the bottom are deed. They're dead. They didn't make it. These ones kind of floating at the top are sort of dominating the situation. And yeah, the one in the middle has been wounded. I think probably a lot of artists go through this, but art has been both a savior and a not savior, not a buddy for me, as far as like my mental health, my well-being, my sense of worth has gone. You know, I have been through times where it has made me feel like I'm special and brilliant, and it's made me feel like I'm a waste of a human being that doesn't have any real skills. And so in action or in karma, I think you have to go through all of those things and fight those feelings. You have, you know, a survivor mentality that comes out of that. And then you have the walking wounded mentality that comes out of that. And then sometimes you have the pacifist, the I'm not going to do any art. And that was me for a couple of years. I didn't do anything. I painted little Warhammer models. That sounded like a lot more fun than drawing my own stuff and having to take responsibility for what I manifested in the world. Yeah, that's a mood. That's in action. God, that's like just having to survive everything that's going on. And speaking of survival, the next card in the glass bead game spread is the material world. And we have the Six of Wands, or victory. Victory. So what's that mean in the material world? It means I got to win. I got to keep going at it. I've got to be an example of somebody that has a first video like this and gets past that. Maybe at some point I will inspire other people. Maybe it'll be through my art. Maybe it'll be through my fabulous hair today, through my little pointy ears that don't match my actual skin tone very much. Maybe it will be something else. But what I really have to do is kind of keep an order to what I'm doing, keep marching, keep doing it, go with that confidence, know that I'm going to win. You don't have to say a lot with that. Next position in the glass bead game spread is the meditation realm, or the devotion realm. And look, it's our buddy. It's our buddy. The littlest buddy. Hi. Hi again. Look who it is. It's the Aeon. It's the Aeon. It's the age. It's the calling. So I have to devote myself to my calling. This channel has to stay devoted to what it's doing. There were a lot of reasons that I decided that I needed to get on this and start doing this. I said earlier, like last year, to someone I was going to start making YouTubes, and then I absolutely did not do it. But there's definitely a calling. When we say there's a silence to this card, it's like what needs to stay silent? The doubt. If you look at it in the spread, it is opposite that Seven of Cups. So the meditation, the clarity, the devotion, all comes with it being, this is the age, this is the time. It's do it or don't do it. And man, so next stage, next part of the bead game reading is the power realm, or the realm of understanding. And we have the Knight of Cups. Yeah, yeah, yeah! Look at that guy. Man, he is going for it. So this is the Knight of Cups. He is going for his dreams. He is letting his passions pull him forward. He's doing the damn thing. So this is in the power realm, is I gotta rip my heart out of my chest and hold it out in front and march to that beat. I gotta do the damn thing. And he's doing the damn thing. He sure is. Look at him. And he's got that big, proud, waxed chest. He's just riding the wave. So all those complicated feelings, he's on top of them. He's riding them. He's definitely, he can't even hear the critics over the waves. In the apex, in the transformation, we have the High Priestess. The High Priestess. The High Priestess. Channeling, bringing it down, creating, speaking for the fishes, speaking for the plants, speaking for the trees, sitting between two opposites like that, definitely mediating, kind of keeping secrets still. She doesn't tell you everything because she's not sure what you're going to do with the information. But here she is at the apex of our reading. Maybe this channel is going to become an oracle. Maybe it's going to be something super intuitive. Maybe just the act of doing these readings will be a lot easier. They will come a lot more naturally. But there she is at the apex of the reading. But that's not the last card. At the end of the bead game spread, we have a card that is meant to symbolize getting ready for the next round. And so that's the inspiration realm. And in the inspiration realm, we've got the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands. As far as inspiration goes, I think staying busy is definitely inspiring to me. Having a lot going on. This King Cobra's got all these little peacocks coming up at him. You know, the cobra and the peacock are natural enemies. Ask anybody. But there's also the idea of like the creative, like the little white roots in the ground, this Kundalini energy moving upward through that tree representing the self, kind of a crown at the top there, sort of this mastery of that internal tantric energy. If you don't really know a lot about tantric energy or Kundalini or anything like that, I would say it's your ability to harness your panic attacks, if I can summarize it and personalize it. And I think that that's going to be what it is for me. I'm inspired to take my spastic self and really put all that energy towards something good and helpful and useful for me, you know, my little family, people in my life, and in greater context, community in the world. And I'd love that. But, you know, right now we're at the beginning. This is inspiration. And yeah, that's all the cards. So let's recap. So we started with ripping off the Band-Aid, having a lot of feels, and this attempt to sort of size up our resources and start to build our reputation. Immediately moving into like, oh, well, how do I actually go about doing that? How do I want to be? What does my heart actually say? How do I manifest my decisiveness? How do I move past the inner conflict of you know, how to even make this stuff? To not worrying, just focus on winning, stay devoted to your calling, move with your heart, you're gonna transform, and hell yeah. if you made it this far, thank you. Thanks for watching. Thank you for enjoying my emotional support Halloween costume. Helped me get through the first video here. And follow the link down below. Illustrations.net is where I keep my art right now. And heck yeah, guys.